Hey folks, welcome to Murder Hobo Inc. Tonight is our subcategory under Iron DM. This is the Socium project. Basically, we've got a year-long world building campaign, and it's like every other Tuesday we have our DMs here, and we have a subject matter related to our world building, and we discuss that. But if you're new to this channel, or please like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube and all that. And if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Twitter at mhobo inc. And if you want to get on the show, or if you want to get in one of our games, because in addition to our campaigns, we always have one shots, and we got a couple of new campaigns coming up. So anyway, we're looking for guests. So if the mood strikes you and you want to take your chances with the Murder Hobos, contact us. I mean, you can contact us on Twitter, or you can contact us on Gmail, which is mhoboinc@gmail.com. But first of all, I want to thank our sponsors, Oddfish Games. They've been with us for a long time. They were recently at Gen Con. They've got Adventure Sense. They've got their tabletop game, How to RPG with Your Cat, and the Shine system, which is a writing system. If you want to write better than Frank does for this show. So also there's there's a new one. There's a Kickstarter that's coming that's actually more geared towards for writing, for like D&D and storytelling and things like that. So that's going to be kicking off soon, and you can check that out at their website for Oddfish Games. Also, I want to thank another one of our sponsors, Pirate Dog Dice. So if you need some good dice, which some of our players and our DMs tonight definitely need new dice, hit them up. It's at Pirate Dog Dice. And Carrie, our producer, she's also one of our players in our campaign. She'll make you some custom dice. So she was a little back ordered, but I think things are catching up and kind of even out. So, but yeah, if you're interested, get your order in. Carrie will definitely hook you up, and that's Pirate Dog Dice. So tonight we have our DMs. We have Jeff. We have Anja. Sorry.
You don't remember my actual name? I got to change it.
No, I saw that you didn't change it, so
I didn't change it. That's just what I normally have there.
We have Jeff. We have John, and we have Carol, obviously. So anyway, they're gonna be talking things up, and the subject tonight for our world building and campaign building is religion. So, but before we get that, I'm gonna go around the horn and you guys can introduce yourselves. So why don't we go with Carol? Carol, why don't you introduce yourself and plug what your projects, what you got going on?
All right, so my name is Carol. I'm a longtime gamer, occasional GM, and commissioned mini painter. I have my own Twitch because I haven't been kicked off there yet. Actually, we weren't technically kicked off either. We kind of left because Twitch sort of screwed us over. But I still have my mini painting stream on Twitch. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Times are there, and it's under abuses_touch on this channel. I am Andre Yeager on the Craig campaign, and I do this. And I think you forgot a couple things.
Yeah, no, they pointed out.
I think Carol, I do believe you forgot to mention we have a store. We have a really cool store, and if it wasn't in the wash, I would have worn my Cred shirt. It's the mhobo Inc. shot on Threadless. Mm-hmm. We also have an audio podcast, which that's the one I never remember how to actually get to it. If you remember, that'd be great.
Yeah,
we have a Discord. Mm-hmm. That's actually it's been a little more active lately. Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, mhobo Inc. Tank. What's the podcast from? I was a Tiny URL MO Inc. audio. There you go.
Okay.
Thank you, Frank.
Everything is tiny URL.
Disembodied voice Frank in my ear.
Yes. You can find our t-shirts and stuff at tinyurl.com RPG swag.
Yes, I can't
You'll
believe you
find
got
us on that.
that.
Yeah. Also, we have our Discord. We also have tinyurl. It's tinyurl.com/mhobo Inc. audio, I believe. We are on Podbean, so you can catch all our episodes on Podbean. I think we have just about all of them converted over. We've got like 500 episodes, folks. I mean, geez. They're in our archives. You can find them here on YouTube. So, you get the time, check it out. So, all right, let's head on to Jeff. Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, I'm Jeff. I have the two countries that are the nicest and most resourceful.
Yeah, right. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
We're just
Change
here
my
to
fucking name.
we're just here to try to make the world a better place to live in.
Yeah, you guys are.
For themselves.
Yeah, they do human resourcing, so we'll see about that. Oh man. So how long you been playing D&D, Jeff?
I've been playing for quite a while. I took off a siesta and then just recently got back in the last couple of years.
Yeah, you've been a GM, a dungeon master for quite a while too, I believe, right?
For some, yeah. I normally play now and DM every now and then.
Okay, cool. John, why don't you tell us about yourself, sir?
So my name is John, and I go by Virtuadept on pretty much everywhere online on the Discord. You'll find me there as Virtuadept. I run a Roll20 game that is now level 15. You guys are level 15, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been going for over a year. Like I think it's almost 2 years now.
Wow.
And it is currently they're in the plains, so it's turned into a Planescape campaign. They actually killed Sathagwa, who's one of the great old ones.
Wow. All right. That's pretty big, man. That's pretty big. So
anyway, yeah, I'm a long-term DM, but I don't have any like shows or anything on the internet. So if you want to get my game, you'll just have to not get streamed, I guess.
Yeah, but we can catch you here. You've been in one shots, man. So
yeah,
John's been in quite a few of our one shots. So,
but by the way, there's a one shot coming up this weekend that anybody can join if they want. So
yes, hit us up. Yeah, we do have a one shot coming up. So if you're interested, please hit us up on Twitter or at Gmail. Let me introduce myself. I am David. I am your host for tonight. I am known as D&Devious on Twitter. And in addition to this show, Between the Rolls, I'm also in 2 campaigns. And yes, Carol, I'm calling Cacophony a campaign. You're absolutely right.
Told you.
So
it is totally,
I'm in a show called Cacophony, and I play an arcane trickster blade singer named Zadaris, a changeling. Also, I'm in the Calamity campaign, both A side and B side. In that A side, I play Ingve, and the B side, I play Crow. And yeah, that is quite the campaign. So it's funny. Carol's in the Cred campaign, actually ran by our DM Kyle. And yeah, they're totally 2 different tones with each. We're more on the comedy spectrum. They have comedy, but it's that Cthulhu horror.
Because it's called Cthulhu meets 5e, and it's a Sandy Peterson Cthulhu rules. So yes, with all the insanities and such, it definitely is a different vibe. Plus, different players. Me and DJ tend to be more of a straight shot. And Jacob,
you guys are.
I think poor Jacob, he's great, by the way. I love him as a player, but he is relatively new. So I think, he doesn't make a lot of waves. So it's just, we leave that to Ernie.
Yeah, and she pushes the Cred merch t-shirts a lot and all that because she isn't admitting it, but she's the designer. So
yeah, I had to finally get one of those. I mean,
it's a pretty sharp looking t-shirt. So anyway, let's get to our topic tonight. Religion. So yeah, I mean, some people have them in their campaigns, some people don't. I mean, deities and demigods sometimes don't come up, but we're having it here. So we got our map coming up. So with all this, as we kind of go into the different, I want to say, areas where our DMs have created their countries. Yeah, we're going to discuss religions for those lands. And yeah, you guys have control of the maps tonight. So as we get to you, go ahead and we'll point it out. Carol, why don't we start with you?
We do have control of the map.
I think so. Or Frank has control and he's
Frank
moving
is
it around.
watching, and he's. You may not see him or hear him, but he is part of this tonight. Yes, thank you, Frank. I get to go first. All right, this time I'm going to be smart and actually go with my main rather than saving it for the second half, because usually we run out of time.
Sure. So let's start with your deity name and a little bit about your deity. So
okay, so I do have more than one, but I'm going to just cover one. Maybe I'll mention the other one here by name. But see, the main pirate. There we go. Well, I guess you could say that the main god of Sea Haven, the country Sea Haven, is Okeo, which is the pirate lady of the sea. And obviously her spheres of influence would be pirates. I actually included luck. Originally I was going to have a god of luck, but it just makes sense. Ships, basically things that happen on ships. And of course, alcohol. So brewers, anybody who makes alcohol. Sure, why not? Then next up on the list was the hierarchy. So there is a main cathedral right on the bay in Port Freedom, which is the capital. The title of the head cleric there, who's, I guess you could call her like the Pope or him, it does not matter, would be the Pirate Admiral. And right underneath them, there are 5 clerics. I like councils. And since I figured Sea Haven has like a council of pirates that helps run it, I figured why not a council of pirates, running the religion too. There are 5 clerics at the top. And then of course there are clerics that go on the ships and are amongst the pirates. Most pirate crews will bring a cleric with them to appease the lady, for better sailing and bigger booty, of course.
Bigger
Sorry.
booty.
Yeah,
Right.
don't like big booty.
More booty.
I like big booty.
Now, as for, like everything else, there are pirates. So, I mean, there is a hierarchy, there's leadership, but it's not a real tightly run religion. People, Sea Haven's all about freedom. And so it's not like the religion really cracks down on people's lives and things. It's more or less to pay lip service or to worship this being that can help them. There's colors, red and black. What else would it be? The symbol, because this was all in the thing, so I'm going to write down the list. Symbol, I said a pirate hat with a crossed pair of sabers. Maybe there'd be a little feather in it. I'm not sure. Didn't exactly have time to draw it. Holy days. Well, they're pirates. I think pretty much every day to them's a holy day. As long as they're alive. I mean, think about it. They go out at night and they celebrate in the taverns. And I think pretty much every day, at least my pirates tend to celebrate life and freedom and such. So, however, any of their affairs, and this is not holy or otherwise, most affairs, they are raucous parties, and she will be she'll be honored during those celebrations. It doesn't necessarily have to even be a religious celebration, just in general. Oh, I believe the question came, there was opponents, and I'm like, well, they're pirates. There isn't any real religious opponents. I mean, I didn't because I don't know what everyone else is coming for gods. I didn't want to get too numerous of gods in our continent, so I don't really have like an anti-religion. but maybe some of your gods might, or some of your clerics. Well, you probably don't like pirates anyways in some of your places. Haha. And that was pretty much it. And the other one I came up with, but I won't get into all the details, was I also have Nomakon, which is Lord Under the Waves, which basically is like, think Poseidon, controller of the water, seas and water and such. And most pirates will pay him homage to, so that a big gaping whirlpool doesn't open up and swallow the ship's whole. And that's my entry for Sea Haven.
Okay.
Questions?
Let me ask you this. Has your deity ever visited the prime plane?
I would say, yeah. Actually, I said, yeah, she actually was immortal, and I didn't come up with details, right? But
so she ascended, right?
Yeah, she ascended. She was immortal with a pirate. She was a mortal pirate and ascended up to godhood.
Okay.
Probably, knowing that being pirate, she probably found something in a treasure.
So
that allowed it to ascend.
What elevated her to godhood? That's my question.
That's what I just answered. She found something in the treasure hoard.
She found something in the treasure hoard.
She found something in the treasure hoard. I haven't friggin' figured out those details, but
okay.
It's like, think if you know that other system that I bring up, but think about this. There's something called I believe it's the Starstone.
Mm-hmm.
Which and I have a character looking for that thing. But yeah, that's basically, think of something like that. And when it's basically somebody found a drunk, and then now like the god of like drunks,
right?
Other things.
Right. Now, some gods have like avatars and things like that. Does she have any? Like, some of the pantheons have like planetars, devas and things like that. Does she have anything like that, or?
I don't know what we're doing in this world. I feel weird if it was like, maybe that's a decision we, the GMs, have to make, or whether or not there are avatars in this world or not. I mean, I would think she would have chosen, right? Like chosen few. Yeah, I'll go with she'll have chosen. Maybe Rose is one of the chosen.
Or favored, or champions, or something.
Yeah,
like
I think I've always liked that concept of mortals that have a touch of the godly power and like a direct line upstairs, so to speak. And I think in a way that whoever and Rose is not the head of the church. Whoever the head of the church is probably has that direct line.
I'm thinking pirate paladins and stuff like that. That could
paladins. Well, I mean, paladins don't have to have an alignment anymore. They don't have to be lawful good anymore. So there's literally no reason why you can't have pirate paladins.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, there is the Oath of the Sea now. So
that's right. I need to do that. I need to make a pirate paladin to this god.
All right, I'm gonna let you brainstorm on that. So let's head on to Jeff. Jeff, why don't you tell us about your deities and religion in your kingdom? And I'm sure we're gonna be in for a wild ride because it's Jeff.
Oh wait. Did anybody else have any questions for me? Usually we.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
I was going to ask about the. Do they keep? Yeah. Do they have like temples, or how does the worship happen? Do they worship in temples, or is it mostly just kind of, priests that kind of roam around and bless things?
Most of it is the priests, the clerics that roam around. A lot of it is on ships when they go out. But I mean, of course, we do have this landmass here, so there are some clerics that stay put. There's really only one big church, and that's the one in Port Freedom. It's a cathedral, literally, built on a wharf, so it overlooks the sea.
Oh.
And we mentioned, I did think of one holiday, actually. There's going to be a holiday where they, like the beginning of the new year, they bless all the ships. That's it. That's like the only holiday, though.
Okay.
Every day is a holiday.
That's a real life thing too. Some communities have. Yeah. So yeah, that's great. That's
so
great.
so full disclosure, I don't live far from Gloucester, Mass. And they do have a festival. They have I believe it's an Italian festival of, I want to say it's the Saints or something like that. My supervisor's going to kill me because she's from there. But one of the things they do is they have the bishop from Boston or the cardinal from Boston, depending on whatever his title is at the time, because it can switch, or archbishop. He comes up and he comes up and he blesses the boats, blesses the fishing fleet. So yeah, that's actually where that came from.
Okay. I was wondering
Maybe there's
about
a
that.
greasy pull too. I don't know. They do this thing called the greasy pull, which is basically a pole that goes out over the water like this, and there's a flag at the end, and of course it's greased, and it's pretty far up there. And
You have to try to climb it.
no, it's not climbing. It's walking across. It's like this.
All right.
So
Oh,
you're
wow.
gonna go across it, and
Pole rack.
it's not a little tiny pole. It's large enough, but it is greased. So
Okay.
usually, and you have to be from a fisherman's family to do it. It's actually a thing of honor. And usually they are drunk, because if they hit the water, apparently it really hurts when they fall off and hit the water.
Wow.
So most of them do it drunk.
That sounds like something you need to have in your area,
All
Carol.
right, fine. I'm going to write, let's see, greasy pole.
There you go. That's for your feast days and stuff like that. So, your holy days.
It definitely adds the fact that they have to be, that they're drunk when they do it.
Nice. Jeff, do you have any questions for Carol or anything? Or
No, I thought she did a good job.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you.
That's really good.
awesome. Now we're gonna put you on the spot. So
I know. I need to go not right after hers since hers was so good.
Oh, come on. Yours will be fine. Of course, yours is
Oh.
probably shit because you're king of shit.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Sounds
I
like
don't
we're
like
gonna-
slavers.
We're human resourcable.
I heard that before.
They do social work, they
right.
fulfill the needs. Okay.
So I guess we'll do paradise down in the. And so paradise actually doesn't per se have gods, but they do have religion. They worship the sun, and then also in turn they're kings, the sun kings. So it's kind of they worship the government, their statehood. So so they believe in the sun. Their big holiday is the summer Solstice, the longest day of the year for the sun. So, and their symbol is actually, a burning sun. What else? What were the other questions on there?
What about
colors? I assume colors are like yellows, reds.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Like fiery.
Yeah. And so the other thing is, and that's only in the three big cities. So once you get inside the country, there's a cult of people that they believe in the secret knowledge of, they call it the Night Queen. So they actually kind of oppose the current government and the sun. So
Oh, nice.
so is your government theocratic or something like that? Or
yes, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's like an empire. So
Okay.
the kings are divinely prophets
Right.
or whatever. They're like, they get their power through the divine sun.
right, exactly. Yeah. And so there were three kings, but now at the current year, there's only one king. And he basically rules over the three big cities.
Okay. So you would have a king and bishops and things like that?
Yeah,
Or-
so they're kings and then the nobles, certain, and then there's also they have the church, which is really just a branch of the authority for the king.
Gotcha.
So I just can't get that cult song Sun King out of my head.
I know, yeah.
Nice.
So they do have clerics that do have powers, right?
Right, yeah.
From the sun, not from
From the
obviously
sun.
the government. So
Right,
they believe,
yeah.
so they believe the sun is a divine being rather
Correct.
than just the sun.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. What
So
about
that begs the-
holidays?
Oh,
Go ahead, John. No, go
Oh.
right ahead.
So I was going to say, so that begs the question: is the sun actually a divine being in this setting, or is maybe do they get their powers through somebody in some power impersonating the sun?
Somebody's
that's a
giving them the
good question.
powers. They're getting the Clarks
power
can cast spell, and they believe in
Yeah.
the sun. So you're right. So that's an interesting point. Could somebody be hijacking that belief? Or I mean, you look at it, it's happened in other situations where if enough people believe in something,
Sure, maybe it happens.
you get powers. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that
Maybe
was
it's a rogue god, like a illegitimate god that ascended or something. Come on, Jeff, we're giving you ideas, man.
All right.
I know.
All right. Any of these you like? And
I do kind
is
of
the
like
truth?
that. Well, the other thing too, and I think I mentioned it in previous episodes. So the original one of the original kings is actually a lich, and he's
Lich.
still
A lich?
Yeah, a lich.
Oh, goody.
And so he's actually like behind the scenes. So maybe they get. I don't know how that would. I don't know how that would. How their priest would get that, but maybe he gives them powers.
He could probably tap into something.
I mean,
Yeah, but that's like no one would know that. That's just like he basically uses the king as his pawn to get stuff done.
that's such a cool. It sounds like this would be a good thing to explore and input in. I mean, I know I say a lot of times in this, well, nobody really knows, but maybe in this case, the GM should know. In some cases,
Yeah.
I leave it open for the GM to make up whatever BS they want to. But in this case, this might be a fun thing to explore.
Yep. Sounds like it.
It's intrigue. It's intrigue.
Well, do you have any holy days, Jeff? Do your employees get days off? That's what I'm asking.
Well, they do. Well, there's actually two holidays. I was going to say, because in one of the months we're doing holidays, I thought. But anyway, one of them is obviously the summer solstice.
Okay.
They have a big festival for that. Their other big holiday is, which Carol's not going to like this, but
How do you know?
they got to impregnate the female slaves. So.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. Rose is gonna come and assassinate your leader. She's gonna assassinate that fucking Sun King right there.
And so a lot of the
it's a Handmaid's fucking Tale. I see what it is.
Pretty much sounds like it.
Pretty much is what it sounds like.
Wow.
So that's kind of the reward for the the people that are the slaves that become glad fight. Only the cream of the crop get the get the best. Obviously the nobles. They get their pick of the ladies, right. And then. But it's like everybody gets to have sex that day. It's the sex day, or the.
One day of the year.
I will caution you one thing, and I probably don't have to, but this is to GMs out there too, considering be careful in the climate today of what you're putting in there, because don't make it too rapey. Give some choice in there or something, because you'll have a bit, you'll get lynched on social media. We all know what will happen. And to a degree, I kind of hope you don't go too far to that way. Make it so there's some sort of a choice in there or something.
Right. Well, you don't want to perpetuate that D&D stereotype, Jeff.
Yeah. be careful. Be really careful with this because I could see how that could go wrong. So you may want to change that holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, it could literally, instead of phrasing it like that, you could literally make it a fertility festival.
Yeah. There we go. So everybody's happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about raping the slaves. It's about fertility. And
it really wasn't about raping. It was about population.
It has that feel though to it. Do those slaves have a choice? Can they say no? And being slaves, the answer is probably no. And I mean, as I said, I'm not I said, I'm
No,
just
that's a
saying,
good point.
be careful, because I know, as I said, I can deal with it. In fact, I said, there's not much that's off the table for me, to be honest. But we are putting this together, I think, in a book at the end of the year, which is going to be published. So we do have to be careful about this stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Fair?
I'm sure Frank's going to be doing some editing and
Yeah.
consulting all our contributors and stuff. So yeah.
And for the record, I think it's a good point to discuss too. I don't think, and yes, I'm not angry or anything like that. So I think that's a good point of discussion. And I think it's a good thing, because people watch the show to point out to GMs, to think about that, and think about your players too. I mean, you could do that if you have the right group of players that can handle that. If somebody even wanted to throw it in their backstory, because that sort of seems like the very angsty, tortured backstory that I would write for my character. She escaped from that sort of thing. So I do like the fact there's an evil nation that I want to go bomb. I do love that fact. So I do. I really do like the fact that there's some bad countries out there.
Well, obviously you've got an opponent to your god now. So.
I don't know if she's an opponent to your god. She's an opponent to you. Because the Sun King is not considered a god. She's not against the sun, but she'd be against the Sun King. Absolutely. Rosa's going to come and kick your ass when she's not too busy.
Yeah. So has your deity been on the primal plane before, the material plane?
Yeah, I don't think so, because I don't think they necessarily, well, like, I don't think anybody's ever seen them. So it's like one of those unseen.
Well, it's the sun, right? So
yeah, it's the sun.
Sees them every
Well,
Yeah,
they
that's
see
true.
it. but
All you do is look up.
Yeah.
I did have a thought though. So we have meteors crashing down. I mean, when they come in, they have this bright yellow light to them. I mean, what if they thought that was an avatar coming to Earth?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Interesting. Maybe they
Mhm.
find them in the desert. They have all these pilgrimages to go out and hunt the desert for these, avatars of the sun that are really meteors that landed.
Oh my God, that's an interesting thought. That could be a little representative in the night sky too. When the sun is down, he's still there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see it in the present. His presence is there. Actually, if we have the moon, I don't know what we got for moons here, but we got the moon. There's the presence of the sun too. He's always watching.
With 5e now, we have the spell summon meteor, so you always have that. Yeah.
Wow.
These
They
are
could be a
natural
card.
meteors.
Smack.
Although that might be a spell for their clerics. I think
Yeah,
it's a
that's what I was thinking.
wizard spell, but isn't it
Yeah.
a wizard spell? Meteor swarm?
Think so.
Because a lich cast it, so that'd be probably wizard. But maybe clerics, you can play with the spells a bit.
Or they could always
Yeah.
hire somebody too to do it, and they make their little gestures, and all of a sudden they cast someone else casts the spell.
Oh yeah. So all right, sir. So John, what do you got for us, man?
Let's go to Jubilor, which is north.
Such a happy place.
Yeah, it's Jubilor. All right, so this country is, of course, the one that has a strong mix of different cultures in it. But the two main cultures in the country are the elves, and then there's the lizard folk, and then of course there's lots and lots of other settlers that could be a mix of races. So there is a wide variety of religion here, and especially in Mirthwall, because Mirthwall is a international trading port, and so every god that exists in this world has at least a small shrine in Mirthwall. And so it'll have a god for every day of the week. It'll have a god for everything. They have gods for like laundry day gods. They got a god for everything in that town.
They're the
It-
Romans. So
Yeah, it's even more than the Roman. I'm like, we're talking like there are literally hundreds of gods with all those little shrines all over the city because they could be from anywhere in the setting. Plus,
Mhm.
just in general, they're the kind of people that they'll be like, oh, well, I need this thing. There must be a god for this thing. So let's make one and then that we'll worship that. Whether or not the gods are actually real or not, that may just depend on how many people believe in it.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good point. And actually Sea Haven's probably similar. The ones I mentioned are the state ones, but there are a lot of gods worshiped there because there's people from all over.
Right.
That's a great point.
The other thing is I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
So
Shit, sorry.
they have all these temples in Mirthwall. They have a lot of them are gods from even other planes, maybe. If depending on if there is any planar travel between this setting and other places, they might. A place like Mirthwall would be big enough to have something like that, or to have travelers from there. A lot of the Kaizen, whatever they worship, is also worshipped in Mirthwall too, because there's a lot of visitors from Kaizen all the time over there. Within the forest itself and in Mirthwall and other parts of the nation, there is a religion that is similar to like old pagan in earth pagan culture type stuff, where like the druids and whatnot that would basically worship nature, worship do highly respectful of nature, all this about fertility and life and the cycle of life and all that stuff. That's pretty much what most of the elves worship. They worship they
I
worship
laugh for a
trees
reason.
and spirits and stuff like that. Spirits from the trees and nature spirits. And then the lizard folk, they worship a very powerful lizard folk god that is an ancient like force of, let's call it maybe neutral evil, probably. A lot of them have rejected that in favor of the elven gods because they're more, nicer, I guess, versions of the lizard folk. But there's still that undercurrent. They all still kind of fear and rever the old evil lizard folk god too. And so that goes back a long ways. Probably the lizard folk god probably isn't from this plane, but he probably has visited the prime plane, maybe or maybe not in this setting, but for sure somewhere in the prime. Well, and that could be like something from like official D&D book sources if you wanted to run it that way. I don't really actually have anything written up about him yet. But he would be an actual power. The druidic type religion, it gets its power through the worship of nature, but it's more of like there's not really any specific one power granting it. It could be they get their power, like if there are any clerics that do that, they get their power similar to how druids do. That's about it. Oh yeah, one more important one. I forgot about this. So all along the coast of this nation, there are all these settlements that are like, small settlements of maybe 50 to 100 people, and they're all scattered around throughout the whole kind of, because it's like 1,000 miles ashore, so they along the coasts on both sides, they have these little places, and a lot of these little settlements, they worship like the fact that something will come and give them better supplies. So they're based off the idea of the cargo cults from the islands of the Pacific. I don't know if you've read anything about those, but they actually had where they like made like wicker like airplanes and stuff like that to
Mhm.
worship the airplanes that would bring the cargo to them on their little island or wherever. And so this is like they have the cargo cults all along the coast of Jubilor. So, and a lot of those are probably not real religions, but they still worship it, you know. So
Yeah. No, that could be cool. And I like how you brought up the wicker thing, because for the cargo cults and stuff like that, because I mean, like for holidays, I mean, what you got for holidays, man? You could have like for like that aspect of Jubilor, you have like a lighting of the ways. There's like a wicker ship built for each one of these cities, and on the feast of that, they light a ship on fire.
maybe Wyvern Pass is full of them at least one day of the year.
Yeah.
And yeah, as far as holidays in Mirthwall, it's all the time. There's always a holiday to some god in Mirthwall.
Okay.
Every given day could be a holiday for somebody.
Right. So with that in mind, I mean, what is the follower hierarchy like? I mean, are there people just proclaiming to be clerics? I mean, for all these hundreds of gods?
There are clerics, but may or may not actually have real powers. If they're an actual god from like Kaizen or some of the other places, they will have clerics that actually do have power.
Okay.
And they'll probably have a bigger temple. It won't just be this little shrine in a closet somewhere. But they'll have all these little things that are made up, or maybe not, or maybe it's a demon or something impersonating some kind of god. They actually do give them some kind of powers.
Yeah. Or it could be like like you said, like a warlock patron or something like
Right.
that they're not really a cleric, they're actually
Right.
a warlock or something like
because
that.
there are lots of cults, like not just well known, like there are a lot of dark cults, especially in Darkwood and
Mhm.
to a lesser extent in Mirthwall. It's a little more under the radar there.
Wow.
You could have
Okay.
some guy that has like 5 or 6 different kind of robes, and he's like, "Oh, what do you believe in? Oh yeah, hang on."
There are people like that. There are worshipers that, depending on what they want to do, they'll claim to revere that particular god of the moment.
Yeah.
There are people that they don't put all their bets on one god. They got a wide portfolio of who they believe in based on whatever they need at the time.
You definitely they would need that that magic item, cloak of many fashions or something like that. So for each deity it just changes. So god. So that's great. I kind of like that, with this whole melange, this whole, theological melange you got going on. So that's pretty cool.
So Jubilor has so many different gods. I can't really.
Right.
It would basically be open for the DM to just kind of put whatever they want in there, honestly. I mean, except for the lizard man one, probably I could document that one a little bit. And more about the whole religion of the elves probably would be more, documentable.
Yeah, I would imagine, like, I mean, with worshiping nature and all that with that, but do they have a specific deity, like, Forgotten Realms, it's like Sylvanas and stuff like that.
So I don't want to use a specific thing that has already been published.
No. I'm saying
David. David.
Yeah.
You do you and then come back to me. Trust me.
There you go. That's cool.
Trust me.
Trust
me on this. Sidestep it.
Okay.
I have an elf. Remember, my other region is elves, and I laugh for a reason.
Oh, okay.
But you go next. You have to do one.
I'm not in this aspect of Socium. I'm strictly a host now.
Oh, you're just being a host. Fine. We'll go back. Are we going back to me then?
Yeah, we're going back to you. Yeah.
We'll try not to be. What time? Let's see. I don't have my clock is in. Oh, it's 1:15. All right. So this is kind of speed roundish now. All right. Okay. So we go up to Triskelion. So this is why I laugh, because literally I came up with a very similar concept to their worship. It is not one god or anything like that. It is a collective of spirits known as the alluviar. The alluvial spirits. And what the spheres of influence are like nature, elementals, and elements, creation, birth, the cycle of life. I added those because of you. Thank you. And they do have a bit of a hierarchy. They have, I call them the Council of the Elements, and it's a council of 9. The leader is called the Master Elements, and I don't really have a name for I didn't think of a name for the other 8, but they're essentially like the bishops of the church, where the master is the Pope. So they all get a little region or a town or something they get a region to cover. They're all druids. That's an important point. Let's see. Each of the easy to have a small region they oversee, as well as they get together and make policy. Let's see. Oh my god, I can't even figure it. Oh yes, and then there are you have your traveling druids, or you have ones that are in towns and things, because once we'll get to the holidays actually at some point here. That's probably next was holidays, wasn't it? So because they do travel, they do have a place they can stay near. How did I write that? I can't say it. Relena Lath, which is that little dot that's right on the edge of the screen that's being cut off. So basically there's a henge there where they celebrate their holidays. At least, and so there's the 2 solstices, the 2 equinoxes, and then they also travel there at the beginning and end of each month, at the beginning or at the end of each month, to celebrate the end of the month or the death of the month and the birth of a new month, because that's a lot of the cycle of life right there, as the solstices do too. What did I write? Let's see, where did I go? Colors. They dress up like a lot of nature things based on the season. So spring would be pink and pale yellow, summer's green and blue, fall reds, oranges, and browns, and winter blue and white. The symbol is like some leaves in, like, you can see like the trails of the wind kind of like swishing. Let's see. They don't really have any opponents. It said this is a rather isolated kingdom that really doesn't want much to do with outsiders. So this is really their state religion, and they don't really have any enemies. Unless there are a bunch of anti-druids that come out, but come in there, but that's a little different. And I think that's it. There's my speed round.
That was your speed round. Okay.
3 minutes.
So yeah, that's a record for you.
But you see what I mean, how it works actually really nicely.
Yeah. Actually, I had planned on Jubilor having been descended from Treskillian, at least, several hundred years ago. So they probably do maintain a lot of that same religion, but they probably don't have it quite as structured, because they moved and they resettled. So things had to change a little bit. Plus there's a strong Fey influence into their religion. Because
that makes sense. There's a Leaf Tangle is a portal to Feywild.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or Fey Step is rather in Leaf Tangle or near it.
Cool. All right, let's try to plow through this. Jeff, what you got for us?
All right, so the nation of Tar almost sounds a lot like Carol's, but with slaves. No, I'm joking.
What? I didn't think both of yours had slaves.
They do. They don't. I was just.
It's that one next door. That's
So Tar is like is it Anonism? Basically, the belief that spirits inhabit every part of the natural world.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's real similar to that.
Yeah, so, it's also about spirits, not gods per se.
Right. Yeah. So
anything, like Native American type beliefs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ask them for favors,
Right. So they'll the mountain, the trees, they're all, and then one of their, their holiday would be like obviously the Day of the Dead. So like they would have an annual celebration of fallen people of the nation, and
That human he killed.
probably, yeah.
See,
Oh,
now
man.
Rosa will help them go kick Humanity's ass if they want.
Oh man, oh
They
man.
may need to take you
She'll
up on that.
ally. She'll ally with every friggin' nation that wants to kick the ass of some slave holding nation like Humanity or.
Yeah. So I'm taking it that these spirits have names and things like that. Is that correct? Or
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'll need to get up some names for them.
okay.
Well, there's thousands of names.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like all I can think of is Pocahontas. It's Colors of the Wind.
Colors of the Wind.
It's
There you
Colors of
go.
the Wind. Every
Nice.
record tree has a spirit, has a name. Oh my God! There you go. It's
There you go.
Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Oh man. Spirit of the Rock named Jeff. So
What about temples? Are there any temples?
yeah, are there
or-
temples and shrines and stuff like that?
There's probably temples and shrines in the cities, but like, the majority of them are centaurs and they're kind of nomadic. So they really, they would probably carry their, their symbol, or
Like a tent? Do they have like a tabernacle they set up every now and then?
like, smoke their peace pipes. So yeah. Yeah. So they
Oh,
probably
peace
do
pipes.
have,
I like the peace pipes.
yeah. So they probably do have like a temple portable ones that they
A little
move
peyote.
around. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Which is probably why
Wow.
humanity whacked them.
They got high. The humans.
They were
came
like,
along with
"Hey."
it. Who are these
Oh,
stupid
man.
centaurs?
All right. And then on that note, yeah, John, why
Ooh.
don't you tell us a little bit about the deities of humanity?
There's only one. There can be only one.
Oh no.
Humanity is ruled by, of course, the humans who are based from Bastion that came to this world through a portal. Well, they worship this person called this deity called Saint Ig. It's YGG, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Saint Ig is
Uh,
their patron worship, their god, who sacrificed himself in order to create this portal so that the humans could escape the oppression of the non-humans in the world they came from. And so in this other world, Saint Ig actually created this portal, and when he did, it killed him, but he ascended and became the god Saint Ig. And his holy symbol it's a very stylized cross, similar to I don't know, like you might find in like the Crusades.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And and a white background, red cross on a white background, white field. He believes in the purity of the human race. There's a lot of rules. It's a very structured religion, and so because they want to control all aspects. So this is a religious based government. So they want to control all aspects of life in this country. And so in order to do so, they have a lot of strict religious rules so that, not only are you disobeying the law, if you break the law, you're also sinning or whatever. You're violating the rules of the religion. And of course the punishment for heresy could be a lot worse than, just regular law breaking. There are a lot of temples in Humanity that are big. There's one big, huge, fabulous, like Taj Mahal like place that's like the main temple in Bastion. And then there are every one of the towns has like at least a small temple. There are roving. I've already mentioned how they have the purge or whatever they call it, the cleansing purge of Saint Ig, that are these paladins that run around to wipe out anybody that might threaten the church or might want to might look a little different. That
Wow.
one's got horns. Let's get rid of that one. Yeah. So, of course, in humanity, there are also many other religions that are worshipped down the down low, in the
Always
underground,
is.
because there's a great underground. There's a huge like underworld, or whatever you want to call it. The
Yeah.
Underdark or whatever. And in those central tunnels, there's lots and lots of non-humans that have their own religions.
Hmm.
You've got different kinds of, the Duergar and the Drow and the
Right.
they all have their own religions. And also the hatred of the lycanthropes comes from the fact that the lycanthropes came through and infiltrated into this world through the portal somehow, and they actually come from the other world, where the lycanthropes were one of the non-human things that humanities try to escape from. So their hatred of lycanthropes goes all the way back to where they came from in their home world. And the lycanthropes are basically trying to shut down humanity here, because they've already managed to take over the other world, unbeknownst to a lot of people in humanity. They're being lied to by the priests. The portal has already been shut down from the other side, and the other side basically is now in control by the non-humans, basically completely. So there's no going back. Humanity can't go back through to the other world, because this is pretty much their restart in this world.
Okay. Wow, that sounds pretty strict, John. So
Yeah.
Look at the land. Look at the country he made. Of course, it's strict.
Yeah, I know that's why I'm commenting on it.
This is what he's made.
It
needs to be taken down.
Yeah. Well, I like the theory of transplanter lycanthropes, like transplanter werewolves or something like that. That's actually pretty cool. So, but that's awesome. All of you guys did a great job tonight. So we're coming short on time, so we might as well start on heading out of here. Before we sign off, and I'll let Carol, do you want to plug your show again?
I'll be painting tomorrow night at, what time do I do it? 8:30 Eastern time on at music, or there's no at, it's Twitch. Muses_touch on Twitch. Well, I paint minis and teach you how to do them, but also talk about gaming or whatever people don't talk about.
Oh yeah. So where can they find you at Muses Touch on Twitter?
It just at Muses_touch. There's an underscore there.
Gotcha.
It's 2 words, but you can't have. I think you have to have 1 word for the Twitter handle.
Gotcha. Well, thank you all for wait.
What's that? I got the perfect mini for this podcast. Seriously, it really is.
What is it?
It's a middle finger.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Reaper Minis. I'm gonna put a plug in for my favorite company. Reaper Minis made these as a addendum to their Bones Kickstarter. I don't know if it will be.
I want that so bad for
a
Big B hand.
It's called. It's obviously because Big B's is copyrighted. It is. Right. They can't use it, so it's just called the Disapproving Hand. I'm gonna paint it up pink though, and it's gonna be Scanlan's hand.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, there you go.
Hand.
Nice. You're gonna have to send that to him in a tweet or something.
Yeah.
I probably will, maybe. When I have the Scanlan figure too, so because I have all the Critical Role figures. Because I
gotta have it perched on it or something.
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean, either that or I want another one. I don't know why I only got one, and they don't have it in the store yet.
Nice.
If I'll ever, I gotta hit them up and see if they're gonna put them in the store. I'm gonna tell you, you'll sell a ton of those if you do.
Oh yeah,
you probably
everyone will want
even to people who don't even play.
I know I want one. So.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's get ourselves out of here. All right, I want to thank our sponsors tonight. I want to thank Oddfish Games. They were just at Gen Con, and we had another sponsor actually working their table at at the con, Maddith Productions, I believe. He was
Oh.
there working the tables and all that for Oddfish Games. Oddfish Games, they have adventure scents, which they got something like 60 different scents. Just don't try Putrid Sewer. We always caution you about that. We've had an incident on
Kyle still
on
has.
Murder Hobo.
Kyle says he still has granules of that up his nose, so he still smells it.
Oh yeah. It'll linger. Yeah, so they have adventure scents. Yeah, things like Putrid Sewer, you can stay away from that, but they've got like ancient temples and things like that. They're great stuff. So if you want to add a little ambiance, as Frank says, to your game, go check them out at Oddfish Games. They also have, again, as we mentioned, they have the Shine system, and they also the game on how to RPG with your cat. So that is Oddfish Games. Our other sponsor is Pirate Dog Dice. Carry out producer and player here on the show, my partner in Cacophony. She makes some great dice. Supposedly I've got some custom dice on the way, so we'll see how that is. I'll probably do a big reveal in one of our shows or something like that. So, but yes.
Yeah, I do too, actually. I mean, I
Okay.
understand they've had deaths in the family and such, so
Yeah,
I understand
yes.
why there's a backup. It's not their fault.
Yeah, but they're getting caught up. They're getting
Yep.
caught up.
I
So
can't wait
please,
to get mine.
so if you want custom dice like we got, definitely hit them up at Pirate Dog Dice. And yeah, am I forgetting anything else, Carol? As far as that, I'm gonna follow us up
I
on.
remember. Did you mention
Okay.
the store? Did you mention?
Yes. If you want to buy our stuff, our t-shirts, I usually have one on, but for tonight, I just didn't have one ready. So, but yes, check us out at tinyurl.com/RPG swag. And yeah, check out our t-shirts, memorabilia. I mean, there's koozies, there's a shower curtain. I mean, there's blankets and things like that. I mean, it is just crazy what they put our stuff on. Carol actually designed one for the Cred campaign. That is a sharp looking t-shirt and it looks great on a sweatshirt. So
I did a tank top. I like it on tank. It looks good on tank top.
Nice. So yes, and if you like what you saw tonight, please like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you tune to that notification bell. That way you get a notification whenever we go live or we post content on the site itself. So yes, you could follow us on Twitter at mhobo inc. You can follow me at DNDevious on Twitter, and we have our Discord, so we'll plug that. That's with the Tiny URL stuff, and we also have our podcast. So all right, so I think that's it, guys. Let's get it on out of here. Everybody do a big kiss and wave. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.